Good afternoon. I'm really excited to be here with you today to share with you just a very brief glimpse into what's the next in our series of C-suite surveys. Over the last 7 years, IBM has had the opportunity to meet with over 15,000 C-suite executives around the world. And today, for the first time, we're announcing our first ever study of chief marketing officers. The study that we have launched and will be delivering the results for represents the voices of over 1,700 CMOs worldwide, representing 19 industries and 64 countries around the world. The survey itself in the study is unprecedented, not just from the size of the sample that we have, but also when we look at the depth and variety of the voices that we're able to capture. For the first time ever, it gives us a true pulse on what's on the minds and what's in the hearts of these CMOs. So what did they tell us? The first thing that they told us is, as they look at the horizon in front of them, as they look out to the next 5 years, they see an increasing level of complexity in front of them. This probably isn't all that surprising when you think about the digital age, when you think about the interconnectivity of global industries, societies, governments, and also when you think about the interdependencies that occur between the relationships within those different relationships and the complexity in that. But the thing that's probably more surprising here isn't that 79% of the people say the road ahead is going to be complex. But the thing that's surprising here is really that 48% of the people that we spoke to said they feel ill-prepared to cope with the changes that are in front of them. As we ask them, as you look at those changes and the things that are making you feel uncomfortable, which are the areas that you think require the most focus? And there are really 3 imperatives that they highlighted for us. The first one is delivering value to empowered customers. If you think about the digital revolution, what has it really done? It's changed the balance of power from the institution to the individual. It's no longer enough for organizations and marketing teams to understand markets and market trends. It's really incumbent upon all of us to go a level deeper to understand the individual. And how does that individual think? What do they value? And what behaviors do they exhibit? So the traditional sources of information that we went to in the past with benchmarking, with market intelligence, are sort of table stakes. We really need to adopt new tools, technologies, and analytics to really dig deeper to get down into the behaviors of the individuals that we call our clients. But that's really the starting point. The real value comes into the next step, and it's taking that knowledge and information and turning it into lasting and meaningful relationships. How do you take that information and really engage with your clients on a one-on-one basis, and not just in a point in time, but through the entire life cycle of their relationship with your brand? If you do this successfully, what does it do? Clearly, it allows you to increase the brand loyalty and hopefully satisfaction with your brand. But even more importantly, it gives you an opportunity to convert those people that are satisfied into brand advocates. And in the world of social media and social business, that's the name of the game. The more people out there in the social stratosphere singing your praises, the better. The next area is probably the most elusive one for those of you who've been in marketing for most of your career, and that's how do we capture the value and show the real impact to the bottom line of the things that we do as a marketing organization. And as CMOs wrestled with this one, they said clearly there are tools, there's analytics, there's different ways I need to go about looking at this. But the other thing that I need to do is really re-look at the skill mix that I have. And as I look at the skills that I have, I need to, number one, really increase the digital IQ of my teams across the board. But that's not enough. What I also need to do is to infuse a new set of skills. I need a new class of marketing professional who has financial acumen, who has the ability to really do analytical kinds of thinking. And that's not just so we can take the things that we're doing and convert it into a bottom line business result that we can share back with the business, but it's also so that day in and day out, as we identify the initiatives and tactics that we're going to execute, we can determine which of those provide the most return on investment and which are the ones that we should divest from, allowing the marketing organization to continue to increase the value that they provide and also the value back to the bottom line on the business. So with these three imperatives in mind, we wanted to dig a little bit deeper because they're extremely important, and hopefully the tenets of them resonate with the folks in this room. But we wanted to go deeper, and the way that we did that was we asked the CMOs to rate their preparedness, how well they thought they were prepared to address 13 key market factors. There are a couple of things that are really kind of startling as you look at the chart. Number one, the results themselves. If you look at the top four, which are really the ones that they said they feel the least prepared to address, the thing that's startling is they are also the same four that they said will be the biggest disruptors to their business. So if you look at data explosion, everybody's dealing with this, right? Lots of data, big data coming from everywhere. Don't need any more data, but what we do need is the ability to analyze that data in order to get meaningful insights to apply back to our execution and to our business. Social media. If you aren't as an organization embracing social media as a key engagement and vehicle with your clients and customers, you're behind. Growth of device and channel choices. Think about it. Smartphones, tablets, all the different proliferation of ways that we can reach each other. This is something that the CMOs struggle with in trying to determine how they can get their arms around that and manage that most effectively. And then last but not least, shifting client demographics. Think about the next generation of customers. They think differently than us, or at least me. Many people in this room, you think that way. But really looking at it's a new way for people to engage, a new way for them to consume, and a new way for them to interact. The organizations that are most nimble in understanding that and how to reach those clients in new ways will be the winners. But the thing that on this page is probably the most startling is over 50% of the people that we asked felt ill-prepared to address all but the bottom two of the issues that you see here. So think about that. The road ahead says it's highly complex. When we look at the 13 most important things that you need to wrestle with in that environment, 50% of the people that we spoke to said they didn't feel that they were prepared to do it. Likewise, in 2010, when we asked CEOs a very similar question, their response back to us pretty much mirrored what we heard from the CMOs. So, where do we go from here? What are the CMOs going to do? What are they going to do to address these changes? As you guys are sitting here and listening to this, what are the things that are going on in your head, and what are some of the next steps that you can take in order to address some of the challenges ahead? Well, for our presentation today, that's a little bit of the cliffhanger, because there's a lot of rich information in this story that we can't share today. So what I really want to do is to invite you to join us on the site that you see here. On this site, you'll find a wealth of information to continue the journey in the story with us. What you'll find here are reference materials. You'll have the complete study result as well as some versions of it by industry, so you can kind of compare for the specific industries you're in, what are some of the challenges people are facing. In addition to that, you'll have an executive summary, so if you need a quick read, you'll be able to go there and find it. There's also opportunities for you to engage, because that's really the most important thing, to get in the dialogue, understand the conversations, try them on for size, and also have your voice be heard. So what you'll find on there too is a self-assessment. So you can go in and kind of test and understand how does your organization fare up when you kind of look at some of the results that we just spoke about. And then last but not least, there's a tab there for events. I really encourage you to click onto that and see what things are coming up where you can, in fact, engage in the dialogue. There's a really fantastic opportunity on October 14th for an HBR simulcast that we're hosting, where we'll be going into a lot of these topics in more detail and engaging you and your peers in that discussion. So with that, I want to thank you for the time this afternoon. I hope to see all of you on the site, and I hope to hear all of your voices very actively contributing to this discussion. Thank you very much.